Hello everyone, welcome back. It's time for part 2. So let's continue on with the 1984 video Laserdisc release of A Star is Born with Judy Garland. This is the restored version, extended play. It's part of the musical category. Also starring James Madison, Jack Carson, Charles Bigford. The film itself is from 1954 and is directed by George Cukor. A legendary musical restored becomes a home video treasure. Rated PG and it's 176 minutes. So let me shut this camera down. Here's what it looks like. Now the jacket itself is kind of peeling off a bit. So that's why. So I'm going to carefully put it back in there one by one. Nice and gently. All right. You know what? All right. Okay, this is best. That's the best I can do. All right. Next up, the 1983 video Laserdisc release of "Oh God, You Devil" with George Burns, late George Burns, also starring Ted Watts, Ron Silver, and Roxanne Hart. The film is from 1985. And it's directed by Paul Bogart. I said 1984, but I was wrong. This has Eugene Roaches in there. George Bless and George Burns in a hot, upbeat comedy. It's part of the comedy genre. I also have Oh God and Oh God Book 2 on VHS. This is rated PG and it's 96 minutes. Here's what it looks like. Next up, the 1984 video Laserdisc release of Oklahoma. It's and this has George McRae, Gloria Graham, Shirley Jones, Gene Nelson, Charlotte Greenwood, Eddie Albert, also starring James Whitmore and Rod Steiger. The film is from 1955 and is directed by Angus DeMille. It's like a time compressed on there. But it's not rated and it's 140 minutes. Video Laserdisc. Stereo extended play. Hope it's not... This got time compressed on there, but... Here's what it looks like. Alright. Put this back in there. Next up, the 1986 Laserdisc release of The Paleface with Jane Russell and Bob Hope. Also starring Robert Armstrong, Iris Adrian, and Robert Watts. The film is from 1948 and is directed by Norman Z. MacLeod. 1948 film, renewed in 1976. Not rated, and it's 1 hour and 31 minutes. So that's 91 minutes altogether here. Oh well. Next up, the 1982 Laserdisc release of The Catch a Thief, with Cary Grant, Princess Grace Kelly, also starring Jesse Royce Landis, John Williams, not to be confused with the musical John Williams. The film is from 1955, and it's directed by Alfred Hitchcock. I also have the VHS counterpart, not rated, and it's 103 minutes. Video laser disc extended play. Alright, we're on down to the last four. Here's the 1996 Laserdisc release of Courage Under Fire. But actually, it's 1997 with Denzel Washington and Meg Ryan. Also starring Lou Diamond Phillips, Michael Moriarty, Matt Damon, Seth Gilliam, Brosnan Pinchot, and Scott Glenn. And this is a widescreen edition. The film is from 1996 and is directed by Edward Zwick. 2 thumbs up stated by the late Siskel and Ebert. It's like a sticker. It's in Quebec, France. But anyway, rated R, and it's let's say what the running time of this thing is. Oh, here he is. 116 minutes. Next up, the 1988 video Laserdisc release of The Unsinkable Molly Brown with Debbie Reynolds and Harve Presnell. Also starring Ed Begley Sr., Jack Christian, Hamida Badley. The film itself is from 1964 and is directed by Charles Walter. A good time, toe-tapping, all-American musical. Not rated, and it's 2 hours and 8 minutes. So that's 128 minutes. Here's what it looks like. Alright. Next up, an extremely rare Magnetic Video Corporation video Laserdisc release of The West Side Story. With Natalie Wood, Richard Baymayer, also starring Rush Tablin, Rita Moreno, George Chakiris. The film is from 1961 and is directed by Robert Wise. I also have the 1991 VHS release. Not rated, and is 150 minutes. Here's what it looks like. And finally, the 1985 video Laserdisc release of Ladyhawke. Yep, video Laserdisc. With Matthew Broderick and Michelle Pfeiffer. Also starring Rutger Hauer, John Wood, sorry. The film is from 1985 and is directed by Richard Donner. The Magical Legend of the Unforgettable Tale. I also have the VHS from 1988 and then Warner Brothers Hits VHS. Rated PG-13 and it's 121 minutes. And it's an adult action category. Here's what it looks like. Not going to pull off too far. I don't want to destroy the cover. Alright, so there you have it. My Laserdisc collection. Man, I should have said video Laserdisc. Oh, it says here featuring digital and analog audio. It's fascinating. Yep, video Laserdisc. So that's more like it. Alright, make sure you guys to comment below, and I'll see you in the next video.